Breaker 19, this here's the squat shot of that one Bigfoot truck in Bakersfield, California. I'm loaded up in trucking. Look out below, 'cause here we go. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of American Truck Simulator. This is our second episode, and this here's Dalakaba, a.k.a. Kachi, and we are about to make another run. We've earned ourselves $43.59, and we're getting saved up so that we can buy our first truck, because the bank will eventually get in touch with us and tell us that we can catch us a loan, and we're definitely going to do that. But let's see here. Let's find us a good job, good paying job. Fresno to Tonopah, 3,096. That there is not too shabby. It's going to take us through some pretty unpleasant backcountry, quite frankly, but we're going to do her. Tonopah. Now, I've been a lot of these places that I'm going to be trucking. I've been in real life. I used to do a lot of running around with a couple of fellas. One who went by the name of Bear, and the other one who went by the name of Weasel. Now, Weasel, he was a short little fella. What we got here? Need money? We can help. Visit your local banking center. Let's just take a glance here. Yep, they're willing to lend us $130. We'll tell you what, we're going to hold off on that, and we're going to do this run, of course. But first, we got to adjust our seat here. But Weasel, he was a little bitty fella. He was one of them little wiry guys who thought that he was 9 foot tall, and he was constantly getting himself in the middle of something. He thought he was a ladies' man, and he was sorely mistaken. But now, Bear was a different story. Bear was an absolute mountain of a man, and he was just so strong. I can't even begin to tell you how strong he was. He used to pick up the back ends of cars for fun. And now he had him a wife. Her name was Darla. And he was so madly in love with this woman. And if you ever wanted to watch Bear turn into a raving lunatic, just stir up some trouble or talk some crap about his wife Darla. But the thing is while he was a mountain of a man, he was also an absolute gentle giant. And one of the biggest kicks that me and Weasel used to get is we'd go, hey Bear, come on with us. We got to run down to the mall. Got to pick up some jeans and stuff for work. Oh, okay, I'll go with you. And we get down to the mall, and then we take him over to the pet store. Because you get a kitten within 15 feet of this fella, and just watch him turn into a blubbering idiot. You never seen anything like it. Big old fella. I mean, make the earth shake practically when he'd come walking by. Get him within 15 feet of a kitten, and he'd just fall apart. Turn into just the most big, blubbering, gentle idiot you ever seen. It was really something to see. I was taking my time here because I knew this light was going to try to be a pain in our butt. But while it took a lot to do it, if you managed to make Bear angry, man, you did not want to be within 100 yards of that fella, because despite his size, he could put on a burst of speed like a grizzly bear. Just one moment he'd just be kind of there, and the next moment he'd be all the way across the football field, just amazing. So the problem is that while Bear was a gentle giant, and I was a pretty mellow dude, Weasel was constantly stirring stuff up. We go up to this bar called the Jack of Diamonds in northeast Minneapolis. That's where a lot of the bikers ran. And we'd go in there, and things would be good for about an hour and a half, I suppose. But then Weasel would get a few in him. I'm too busy talking. Got to do more driving and less talking. Weasel would get a few drinks in him, and he'd pick out some lady, and he'd go over and start talking. And next thing you know, some fellow would be all stirred up, and me and Barrett have to jump in and bail Weasel out. Because while Weasel thought that he was 9 foot tall, and the son of Bruce Lee, he was 5 foot 1 inch tall, and the son of, Charlie the janitor, just, yeah, he was quite a fella. Boy, it's tight through here. Alrighty, let's get going. Not too much longer to get the heck out of this mess here, because this has definitely got the potential to be a serious knucklehead convention. Alright. We can right turn on red, but we want to do it where we're not going to get run over. Kind of a tough view there. Alright, we're solid. But me and Bear and Weasel, we used to jump on our scooters and do some traveling and touring. I'd get the phone call. Hey man, hey dude, we're gonna go to Colorado. Weren't you born in Colorado? Yeah man, I was born up in Fairplay, Colorado. Lived in Fairplay, was born in South Park. Oh, all right. Well, you know your way around up there, don't you, brother? I moved out of there when I was, 2 years old. I don't know crap about Colorado. Well, you got to come with us anyway. Come on, we're gonna go to Colorado, and we'd jump on our scooters and go. Used to ride a '65 Electric Glide, and we'd travel along, and Bear and Weasel would team up and shoot pool along the way. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about clean house and run a table. Oh, come on, you big old horse. Get our lights on here. There we go. This here truck is like honey, sweet but slow. But yeah, we'd start making our way. And every night we'd find us a little tap someplace. We'd go on in, and I'd make nice with the local girls, and Bear and Weasel would get on a table and they'd start shooting pool and betting. And the next thing you know, I had us a place to stay and they had us gas money for the next day. What do we got here? It's quite a mess. Alright, we're solid. But we also had our share of adventures. Every once in a while, some of them local boys did not appreciate getting beat by us long-haired out-of-towners. And of course, the local gendarmerie, the constabulary, the police, for those of you who don't have the slightest idea what the Sam hell I'm talking about, did not care for us because, of course, we were riding motorcycles, and that made us bikers, and that made us bad guys. I won't give the name of the club that Bear and Weasel rode with because, well, their business is their business. But needless to say, they did not look like they were there to pick flowers. They were some serious looking fellas. Now me, I never rode with anybody. I rode independent. And that's mostly because I knew I'd mess up. I knew at some point riding with some club, I'd talk to the wrong person or do the wrong thing, and I'd get myself in a world of hurt. But a lot of these places, Prim and Tonopah and a number of other spots that we'll be running in this game, me and Bear and Weasel, we scooter tramped our way across the country and spent time in a lot of these places. Prim is actually a nice little place. I used to love when I better slow myself down. I'm talking instead of driving. But one time, I was in fact talking about Colorado. Why am I going so fast? I need to calm down. Wow. I must be comfortable with the controls now. I'm blazing along freaking 59 miles an hour back here. A lot of these Nevada runs, you got a 70 or 80 mile an hour speed limit, and I wasn't paying attention. I thought I could run 70. And get her up above, let her feather back, and hit the cruise. There we go, we're good to go. But on one of our trips to Colorado, we'd gone to Fairplay, the town where I was born. My pa had painted a big old mural on the main window of a little restaurant up there, and there was a lot of things that I was curious about, what the place was like, and see if the little cabin on the mountainside where I grew up the first year or two of my life, whether it was still there and that kind of stuff. And well, we went rolling in there, and we went into the little local tap, and them fellas, they started playing pool, and they started winning like they always did, because they were good. They were really good. And when we got done, well, them local boys, they decided somehow they had been cheated. Well, I don't know exactly how you can cheat at pool. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You smack one ball with another ball, you put it in the hole, and you call it good. But things are starting to stir up, and the bartender, he called the local sheriff, and the local sheriff, he come in, and man, he thought he's a cowboy. He thought he was Bat Masterson or somebody, I don't know, because he come in and he was wearing a big old Stetson hat. He had himself a long barrel revolver strapped to his side. He come in and he says, "Well, boys," he says, "I think it's time for you to go." And Bear, of course, didn't like being pushed around. And he says, "And why is that?" And he said, "Because if you don't get going, I'm going to have to use this." And he patted that pistol that he had on his hip. Pat, pat, pat. And Bear looked at him and said, "Is that there pistol got a front sight on it?" And the sheriff said, "Well, yeah. Why?" And he said, "Well, that's too bad, because this can hurt like hell when I stick it up your butt." That was the kind of fella Bear was. We went out the front door, and they all followed us out, the sheriff and the local crew there that we had whooped at pool. And they started following us down the street, so we was headed down for our scooters. And we're walking down the sidewalk, and boy, they're stalking along behind us, pacing us. And all of a sudden, Bear goes, "Hey, watch this." And he spins around and goes, "Roar!" like that. Man, you should have seen them. You should have seen them. They went over cars and under cars and through doorways and up on the roofs. I mean, they just scattered in every direction. He's damn lucky you didn't get a shot, because the sheriff was right in the middle of the whole works. But he laughed. Oh, he laughed. Well, we went on down the street. We got on our scooters, and we got the heck out of there. Because them fellers weren't playing. They'd have made a mess of us. They'd have made a mess of us. All these poor people in the trailer going, "What the hell?" As I'm blinding them in their living rooms. Yeah. We had as many adventures. No doubt about that. I don't know why it is, but life seems to have a tendency to bring tragedy to good people. Both them fellers are gone now. And they're not gone because, they got in a gunfight, with a rival biker gang, or none of that nonsense. No, just good old-fashioned accidents and tragedy. Weasel shot himself in the back of his own head. Now, how's that for luck? He was all drunked up one night, and he had his pistol. He had his .22 buntline. Alright, we're in the city limits. I better slow her down, and I'm going to bring her up here so I can tell what the hell I got going on. But he had a .22 buntline, and he was drunk, and he was shooting at flies. of all things. And he was in this little apartment, and it was in the corner of the building, and it had a funny angle to it because of the way this whole building was built. And he was shooting his pistol inside the building, and it ricocheted off one old iron radiator, hit the old iron radiator behind him, and the round hit him in the back of the head and killed him. How's that for crazy? And that about killed Bear, because they were best pals. I mean, I was their friend, but Weasel was his best pal. In fact, I was over at Bear's when we got the news. Phone rang, and Darla answered the phone. She said, "What? What?" "Ah, Jesus." She said, Bear, come on, you got to take this." And he come over and he took the phone, and whoever was on the other end told him. He never said a word. Boy, he just literally collapsed on the spot, dropped right down, cross-legged, and just commenced to blubbering. Just tears running down his face, snot hanging out of his nose. Big old gentle giant. Kind of hurts to think about them days, but there were many good days as well as some bad days. But when you're young and crazy, you can get yourself in some stuff, that's for sure. And boy, we got ourselves in some stuff, a lot of which I'm just not willing to discuss. I don't know how many younger folks watch my channel, and I'd rather not give them any ideas, that's for sure. Well, we're just about there. By golly, I do believe. I think once we take our right, it's just up the highway here a bit. This opens up to 80 miles an hour. All right, when this feller gets by, let's kick her in the butt. Come on, go, you big old horse. We're going to get hit right square in the panel. There we go. And now Darla, Bear's wife. Now there was a lady. She was this little itty bitty thing. Just a little itty bitty thing. Hair just as red as a rooster. And a temper to match. And Bear, he'd say something. He'd do something. Boy, she'd just come unglued on him. Commenced to wailing. And he'd just stand there. He'd just stand there and giggle. Because, of course, she could hit him with everything she had. Hell, she could have done a flying sidekick, I think, and all she'd have done is bounced off him, you know. There we go. And slow her down. But she'd commence to wail, and she'd be a whipping and a whooping, punching him and kicking him and pulling his hair, and he'd just sit there and giggle. And after she had about wore herself out, he'd pick her up in a bear hug, and he'd just hold her. And she'd finally calm down, and he'd have her in that bear hug, and she'd just be hanging in the air with her feet off the ground, panting. And he'd just go, "Darling, darling, Darla, darling, I love you." Yeah. But here we are, guys. This is a good run. Not too long. Makes us some good money. All right, well, let's see what we can do about parking this. Now, this is not too bad a park job again. I think it's pretty similar to our last one. And no, not quite. Could get a little squirrely. All right, what the heck, we'll give her a try. Let's angle her in. We're going to cut it. And we're going to swing it. And we're going to cut it. Nope, still not quite there. Son of a gun, see? It's the same thing that happened last time. there. There we go. Boy, they did not make this easy, did they? Nope. I hate to skip it. But they definitely got us a spot here. We're gonna get her. Ooh, that's close. We're gonna get her. There you go, you ornery bugger, you. Now if we cut her, we should drop her right in place. We're just gonna swing her past and straighten her out. See how much room we got here. Take it real slow. Now we should be able to just bring her in. Spent more time parking than I did driving. There she is. Well, I tell you, they didn't make that easy, did they? But the extra experience points, they're darn worth it. Took us halfway to the next level. Alright, my friends, well, that is the end of this here episode of American Truck Simulator. I shall catch you on the flip-flop. Oh, hold on, we got email. Yep, alright, just letting us know there's jobs available. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Thank you, good buddies. I'll catch you on the flip-flop. I'm gone 10-7. I'm out.